start with what brings you to the Arsenal today.
Well, I am so thrilled to be back, and I'm going to go visit, in particular, their 3D manufacturing and their additive manufacturing facility, because that is a real jewel for our nation, not just here in the Quad City area, but really it's a jewel in the nation when it comes to the capacity within the Army's ability to manufacture for our military.
What sort of questions are you looking forward to asking, or things that you're excited to see today at the Arsenal?
Well, a couple of things, which are long-term things I've been working on for quite a few years now. The manufacturing facility, we were able to secure some funding for that, about $14 million. And then we're going to come back and take another look and see what else they need in terms of funding for additive manufacturing. I also want to look at occupancy on the post. A few years back, I passed some language in the defense budget that said that if you're a federal agency and you are looking to rent commercially, you need to go look at existing space within a federal facility. And we got that language in this year's defense budget to extend that. So I want to see how many tenants are there on the post. What can we do to bring more federal agencies into this area? Because it's a great place to live. It's like the cost of living is perfect, the base is amazing, the community is welcoming, and so try and bring more federal agencies into this region.
Well, I know it's not your only stop today. What are you doing at the FCI Thomson?
Well, I'm going to go there and do two things. One, look at the conditions there, and second, looking at the working conditions for the employees there. There have been some real issues with decisions that were made by the Bureau of Prisons in terms of salaries and funding and staffing there in order to keep the facility secure and safe for everybody. We need to make sure that they're staffing at adequate levels, and so just want to make sure that I sit down with both the leadership from the Bureau of Prisons, but also the employees' representatives as well, because we've had several meetings with them, and they are severely understaffed and underpaid at a facility where they really perform amazing work to keep the community safe.
I know you and Durbin and Bustos, when she was in office, have spent a lot of years working with Thomson and staff at Thomson and asking for more funding and more staffing. Do you think this prison, or would you want this prison to ever move back into that max level security?
Well, I think that if it's appropriate and we have need for more capacity at the max security level, then I think Thomson is a good candidate for that. It certainly would also bring in more staffing and more money at that level. It is something that you mentioned, Senator Durbin and Sherry Bustos, but also Eric Sorensen has been in these meetings with the members of the labor union and the staff there. They're certainly capable of operating it at the max security level, and if that's what's needed in the system, then yes, let's do that. But we also have to make sure that they are adequately staffed. You don't want to have a max security facility that is understaffed, because that's dangerous for everybody, and certainly unfair to both the folks who are incarcerated, as well as the staff who have to work in that environment.
There have been several instances over the last few weeks where staff members at Thomson have allegedly been exposed to drugs. Narcan has been administered. Several staff members have been taken to the hospital. What is lawmakers' ideas when it comes to stopping drug exposures at federal prisons and places like Thomson?
Well, one of the big things is the staffing level. That is part of the problem. If the drugs are being brought in somehow, there is obviously security lapses, and part of that is also the staffing level. So this is one of the reasons why I want to go and talk and say, hey, what are we going to do? We've been working with the head of the Federal Bureau of Prisons now and asking her to please bring back the original staffing levels. And I think that with these recent incidents, it's time to really reach into the federal agencies and say, hey, we can do better, and maybe even take this to the White House.
I want to move on to other things, but I do want to ask, are you meeting with both the union leaders and the warden today, or is it just the
I'm meeting both with the leadership as well as the union leaders as well.
Well, one of the problems that faces Thomson that I want to move on to is affordable housing. That's been a huge issue for staff, and that's part of the reason why they're having such a hard time getting and retaining staff up there. Recently, Moline announced a $10 million affordable housing project to start just downtown, or just down the street from our station. But that's $10 million of state funding for 20 units. What else can Congress do to help affordable housing in Western Illinois?
So there is grant money available through HUD and through federal grant programs, and certainly we can help support Moline if they are going to apply for those federal funds. And so them putting forward a commitment for 10 million of local taxpayer dollars is a great way for us to then leverage that with a federal match through a grant process.
And yeah, that was a state grant.
State grant, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and so anytime that you can leverage local money and then come in and bring in federal dollars, that's really important. And an example of that is the effort to get lead service lines replaced. I was able to get $5 billion over 5 years. The Biden administration just committed another $2.5 billion. And so that's gonna help replace all the lead service lines in Illinois. That's a nationwide amount, but we're gonna get a significant portion of that. And a lot of that is also making sure that we leverage local money with federal grant dollars as well.
I'm glad you brought that up because I wanted to ask about lead pipes. Illinois has the most in the country. Chicago.
24% of all the lead pipes in the entire nation are in the northern Illinois area, particularly in the Chicagoland area, but in all of northern Illinois. Galesburg has tested positive for lead in their water supply.
Yeah. And Galesburg actually just completed getting rid of all of their lead pipes
Yes.
last year, which is exciting.
I'm so proud of them.
Yeah, it's really exciting. But when you take a look at somewhere like Rock Island, they have discovered that the city does not own any of their lead pipes. There are a lot of lead pipes, but they're all the problems for the homeowners. So in that instance, how can people get money to help with this project if you have a deadline to replace these pipes?
So the pipes that need to be replaced are the ones that go from the street to your home underneath your front yard. And so the way that that money is there. That's why I were able to secure now over $7 billion for that lead service line. And that money goes to the state revolving fund. So the homeowners do not have to spend a single penny of their own money to get that done. What needs to happen at the municipal level is the city needs to pass city ordinance that says you opt out of the program. So the city will come in using those federal dollars and go ahead and replace those pipelines. And what happens is they're just gonna replace them unless the homeowner says don't do it. And that's how Newark, New Jersey was able to replace 100% of their lead pipeline in 3 years, because they passed local ordinance, because there's a lot of absentee landlords, a lot of people are hesitant, people don't know, but if the city can come in and just do it, and the homeowner's not committing to anything, then you can get it all done. So it requires local ordinance to come in and say, okay, we're gonna pass ordinance that says we're gonna replace it, unless you specifically tell us don't do it. And the pipeline that needs to be replaced is that portion from your front door out to the city street.
Well, what about these cities that say we don't have the money, Moline, East Moline?
But that's all federal dollars. That's why we passed 7.5. I mean, I worked very, very hard to pass that in the infrastructure deal. The money is actually there. And if these cities don't get on board and don't get moving with the ordinances and getting moving, the money's gonna go someplace else, like Newark, New Jersey, who did it in 3 years. It's going around the country, and so we have to get on the ball here in Illinois and get it done, because it is planned to be a 100% federally funded program without a single penny of the local dollars.
And is $7 billion enough to replace the country's lead pipes?
It's 10 billion. We need 10 billion over 10 years, and at this point, we have 7.5 billion for the first 5 years. So we are well on our way, and we in Illinois should have the first portion of that. We should get 23% of that 7.5 billion, which will get us started for those first 5 years.
Well, I probably only have time for one more question. So Congressman Eric Sorensen has called on lawmakers to come back to Washington right now to pass further disaster relief funds. How do you feel about that?
Happy to do it. Happy to do it, because we desperately need to make sure that people who are affected are supported, and that local emergency management agencies have the funding and the resources they need to help people who have been displaced. And as we're seeing due to climate change, these disasters are happening all over the country right now. You've got wildfires out west, you've got flooding here along the rivers here in the Midwest, and of course the horrible hurricanes, terrible hurricanes that are happening in the Gulf Coast right now. So I would be supportive of it. We just need to have leadership call us back into a session.
And what exactly would you like to see passed?
Well, I think emergency funding, what I would like to see passed is not to focus on any one single disaster, but make sure that we understand that there are places where the disaster is happening, maybe not on the scale of Hurricane Milton in Florida, but we also have flooding here. We also have drought here in the Midwest. We also have wildfires out west. And so let's not play us or them and pit one community against another for these federal dollars.
And that's about exactly 10 minutes.
Okay.
15 seconds
Perfect.
left, so thank you so much for your time today.
Yeah, it's great to be back. Thanks.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, you have to come back sooner.
Yeah.